It still pumps me up. That was such a fun day. Some parties lead to really great, lasting core memories. And the day I got my own theme song is one of them. And so far, I have talked about it at the beginning of every episode. Maybe someday that'll stop. Maybe not. You'll only know if you stay tuned in. And that goes without saying. Welcome, everybody, to the I Speak Good podcast. Episode 4 is here. My name is Dump Truck. I talk a lot. That's why this exists. Hopefully it's why you're here, because you don't mind listening. And last time we were here on the show, we had Chef Justin Warner from the Food Network. If you haven't watched or listened to that episode, it is on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and hopefully everywhere else that you can find podcasts. So check that out. And today we are going to check in with my good friend, Mariah Harmony, who is from the hit television series Pitbulls and Parolees, and is currently a driving force in what is now known as the Moto Maidens, sponsored by Harley Davidson. They're getting ready to release season 3 of their series. And we've got a lot of checking in to do with her here in a minute. But last time we talked, I was getting ready to go to Mama Tried show in Milwaukee. It was a massive success. I'm telling you, that show is just out of this world. It's such an amazing time. My heart's always bigger when I leave than when I got there. And just really grateful. Sabine and I had the best time. You know, sometimes when you travel with your partner, you have a great time. And sometimes when you travel with your partner, you have a really great time. And this was one of those really great ones. The vibes were high. We giggled a whole bunch. And we crushed it. Like, the show went crazy well. I feel like everybody handled their position, whatever it was, really, really, really well. And then when we got home, we got the flu. Like, when I say we, I mean most of Mama Tried, to the point to where a lot of us went and got tested to make sure it wasn't, the COVID thing. And it wasn't. It was literally the flu. The flu has been going around big time. If you are not on a regimen of vitamin C, please change that life habit and get some of that in your life as quickly as possible, as regularly as possible, so maybe you don't have to go through it. And do what you want to do with the vaccines. I prefer my immune system to bolster up and get healthier so I can fight these things. Some people prefer a different method, and that is your personal choice, and I'm here to let you make it. Other than that, it's been getting ready for the podcast. Well, I was sick. I was down and out for quite a while. And I've just been working on catching up on content. We've got a new show coming out on YouTube here shortly called Dump Truck Approved. I'll be testing motorcycle gear, boots, parts, motorcycles themselves, and doing some kind of reviews on that. And you'll have some ride footage as well, so you can see that I actually used the items. That's coming out here really soon, in the middle of those edits. And really grateful that the partnership with Dead or Alive Coffee is in full swing. I have been back on the Dead or Alive Coffee tip for about a week now, having at least one cup every morning. My life is better because of it. And, I've been having a lot of fun with this brand over the years. And, well, I'm not going to keep talking about it. I'm still having a lot of fun with them. I'm ready to get to it. I'm excited to talk to my friend Mariah. So without further ado, my great, great dear friend, Miss Mariah Harmony, y'all.
This bumblebee will not leave me alone, and it's just sitting right here, and it's...
Whoa.
Listen, sirs, I need you to go.
You
Oh,
must smell
now they're
great.
just going at it. Okay, can you hear them? Don't eat it. My dog just tried to eat it. They're like the massive bumblebees. I think they were just fighting. Are you fighting for your spot over by my hair?
I don't think they're fighting. I think they're just bad at flying. I mean,
well, that one just came and swooped in, and then the other one it's just like right by my ear. I love bees, but I need you to just for a little bit while I talk to Dump Truck.
Can you give us can you just give us
Give me a minute. And now my dog's trying to eat it. It's because it's the big bumblebees, so they're really loud. Anyways, hi friend, I miss you already.
Hey, you make me miss living in the swamp. Everything wants to eat you there.
Yeah, and I mean everything's starting. When I was sitting here, sir. Can you hear it? Yeah, All the green on the cypress is starting to come back already. You know that it's always green here. Like it doesn't
Oh yeah.
die, it doesn't go away. But like the cypress tree in front of me is already like halfway green. We always have green. You know that you're from here.
Well, I mean, it's been a drastic change. Yeah, right. I mean, you're about 20 minutes from where I was brought up.
Mhm.
And for those of y'all that don't know, that's South Louisiana. Are you now? You're in Assumption Parish as well.
Yes, Assumption
Yeah,
Parish,
yeah. See,
ride or die.
that's where the real people are, man. Like, I've been trying to get back ever since I left.
Well, we want you to come home.
Well, don't worry. I will be there soon.
I
100%.
can't wait.
We are very much looking most likely to invite ourselves out to come visit.
Well, you don't. That's kind of just a thing with us. It's not like no matter what, how all of our friends are, we all travel, do that. But like you get to a certain point of friendship and like in your relationship, that's how you know. We don't invite each other. We just say, "Hey, I'm coming."
Yeah.
We've
Like,
been
just
there
let you know,
we've been
might
there
want
for
to
a
make
while.
another place setting.
No, I love that, like, because I lived in New Orleans however long, and my family was out here, but that you and I both, you're from out here near where I live and where my family lives, but before we knew each other, really, I lived in New Orleans. You moved to New Orleans, ended up my neighbor, and then I moved back out to the swamps where my family's from, not knowing that you were from out here, and now you guys would rather be out here. Same with me. Mika's my freaking neighbor now, which has been amazing.
That makes us jealous.
But I think we all like, we're evolving into growing up in a different way. I will never completely grow up, but
Well, no, that's a
um
trap. That's
yeah. But I mean, I've always rather been out here, but my work kept me there and just a lot of things, but I am moving out here permanently rather than visiting on weekends has been the best thing I have ever done for myself.
I can imagine. I can't stop but daydream on a daily basis about what it would be like to have acres, like somewhere, like
Yeah.
lots of places. Like there's some really cool places in the desert. There's some really cool
Yeah.
places in the forest, and there's some really cool places in the swamp. And it just I don't know what it is. Like I don't know. I feel like for me personally, cities don't serve me like they used to. I used to be in cities to work. I used to be in cities to try and meet the right people and shake the right hand.
Yeah.
And these days, like, I don't know if it's because I've just been around long enough finally or what, but I don't need to be in a high populated area with access to movie theaters and hip
Yeah.
restaurants and all that kind of stuff anymore. I need access to that city, but I don't need to be all up in the middle of it anymore. And like, I'm not even I don't really like party anymore. I mean, I do. Like I have a good
Yeah,
time,
but we pick and choose
but
when we
it's
do
not a
that rather than
lifestyle
all the
choice
time.
anymore.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, same, different.
We make plans to go do that.
Yeah, it's like, hey, so I feel like making a bad decision on this
Yeah.
date between these hours. Are you available? Hang on 1 second. My dog smells her
You're good.
food in her bowl.
You're good. Hi, baby.
She says, "Dad, feed me."
My dog's trying to eat a bumblebee, so,
Snack time for everybody.
Yeah. Get it, Dad.
A few moments later.
She thought somebody was here. And it's so funny because the monitors on my computer aren't on. It's all through my headphones. She came inside just like, who's in the house?
Wait, is
Someone's
that
supposed
one
to
of
be
the
petting me. I
dogs
know
that
it.
one of the ones that I got to doggy sit?
Say what now?
Is that one of the ones that I got to doggy sit when y'all were out of
Yeah,
town?
that's
Got it.
Ponyo, the black dog.
Yep, no, I remember.
Yeah, she crazy.
Have you met my dogs? Yes.
Yeah, which ones?
I know. I proudly run the loony bin at my house. It's dwindled down. I'm down to 3 dogs, and I
Wow,
am
that is actually quite minimal.
impressive for me. I've
Yeah.
never had this limited amount of dogs, and I am looking forward. I'm not looking forward to not having my dogs. I want them to live forever.
Right.
But I am very much looking forward to not having to point when I drive to New Orleans, I have to take my RV because my dogs don't get along. So I have to be able to crate my big ass dogs separately. So
Yeah.
I have to drive an RV just to go and get an hour and a half. And I'm looking forward to being able to just throw my dog in a car and do stuff.
And just go do things. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm up at 4 a.m. I drive to Bo's house, get his girls ready for school. Then I drive to work to do morning shift, and then I go back at night. It's a lot. But,
So What's the what are the shift when you say morning shift
It's
and evening
super
shift?
easy.
Where are you at? Are you at Villalobos? Are you there
Yeah,
in?
yeah, yeah. So I run one of our locations right here. We call it Crab.
Mm-hmm.
Because of this, yeah, the
Because of where you
location.
is.
Yeah. This
I've
is
been over there.
yeah, this is the smallest amount of dogs I've ever had to care for, which is great. I only have like 39, I think.
Wow, so they can get a lot better care that way. Because you've had what's the largest number you've had? Because I've seen you with
Oh no,
a
no,
couple of
no. Yeah,
something.
we have a, we have hundreds of dogs, but this is the smallest location because for a while all I was doing was the driving and I loved that. Um, but this location, my mom needed someone to take it over, and I'm kind of the kid that just wherever I need to go, I just go and handle stuff. So I took over this location randomly, which has kind of been nice because I've actually been able to stay home a little bit more instead of like nonstop. But the most amount of dogs, I have no idea that I've been
There's
put
just
and
how
try.
about
I have
that
no idea.
facility at Crab
The
specifically?
Crab, I only that's what I'm saying. I only have like 39, 40 dogs there, which is
Right.
it's fantastic. And this is honestly my favorite location I've ever ran because
The
all the
commute.
dogs. Because well, in New Orleans we had warehouses, like we did what we had to do. But New Orleans just isn't a place for these dogs to heal that have been abused, been through all these things. We just got our last dog out of the city of like month or so ago.
Wow.
So, so we have New Orleans is closed down officially. None of my family was there anymore, so it didn't. We had other people running the warehouse there.
That's not the
Just the
same though.
stuff, no, and the stuff that they were going through, and not only that, like I said, they don't here. My location that I run, all the dogs that are in kennels. When we clean kennels, we let them out in this big grass play yard that they get to go run in, and it's I'm surrounded by the swamp there, so they have all this. It's peaceful.
Yeah.
They gave me dogs from the city to start clearing out, and like the people in the city cared for them wonderfully as best they could. But these dogs had so many problems coming to me, and we'd had them for a little while still, and that said something to me that even under the care of Villalobos, they still like within a few days I'm watching their personalities just flourish because they're somewhere peaceful and somewhere they can actually heal. So
Yeah.
getting to work at this location now and run it, like watching the transition in these animals, it's been amazing. But like it's like I said, it's not hard. It's not like the shifts are hard. It's just I've been going hard a couple weeks now where like it was 7 days a week at one point and waking
Wow.
up at 4 in the morning to go do family stuff and then going to work and then so not working tonight and being able to have a glass of wine is real and getting to see my friend is just
I love it.
real
That's
good. And I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm grateful that that I'm able to do this stuff and I'm able-bodied enough where I can do this and that I can work and do all these things, but doesn't mean it doesn't get exhausting.
well, no, yeah, but I mean, like being able to move the dogs to that kind of an area, like it is a no-brainer, I think, for most people if they
Yeah,
sit and think about like the best place to rehabilitate an animal is probably not in the upper Ninth Ward, New Orleans, right? Like that just happens to be where
yeah,
space was available.
yeah. Well,
And
we knew we were needed there. That
right.
was the thing.
So you went
So,
right at the need, and but like that's not where the healing is now, right?
no.
And like even when Sabine and I took our family out of New Orleans, a big part of that was so we didn't have to leave dogs behind anymore because we started
Yeah,
to do that camper life for a few years. And Poe specifically was a New Orleans street dog. Like she was on death row when Sabine found her, and they said, "You do not want this dog." And when I met her, she was not the
those
friendliest
two.
animal ever. I know, but now, like whenever the aha moment that happened in Poe specifically, because we only have Poe now. But the aha moment that went off in Poe when we were out on public lands like BLM land, we were out in
Hmm.
Colorado, and she gets out of the camper, and there's like not another person or domesticated anything within 50 miles of where you're standing. Like there's unless someone's
Yeah,
on the same trail as you are truly alone out there. And that was the beginning of her learning how to be a dog.
yeah,
And we just let her kind of do it on her own. And she actually started to be a lot more loyal to the family once she was able to have those wide open experiences, those moments of peace. But it's
yeah,
like, we're trying to train her as a middle-aged older dog in our backyard and in the old neighborhood and
Just
it's
constant.
yeah, I mean, you're just sensory overload. It's either a rooster, a gunshot, a cop car, or
Yep.
second
Sirens.
line, like
Yep.
an
It's
accident on the
nonstop.
corner between our house. That place is a magnet for car crashes. But it was amazing to be able to watch Poe and to know that we were doing right by our dog by allowing them to like figure out who the hell they were because she was not
Yeah.
treated well before Sabine got her, and you could tell that
Yep.
she was damaged by people, and that allowed them to do what people do, and it's beautiful. So I'm really stoked that you're able to I don't know, spend the time in a much more effective way, right? Because like in a place like New Orleans, you can only take them so far
Well, it was just like a constant uphill battle in New Orleans. No
with the
matter how much shit,
flooding and everything.
no matter how much shit I talk, that is my home. So anyone that wants to talk shit about it can come at me and I will fight you. But I get to because it's my home. That city is so beautiful.
It is.
For who I am as a person, I'm a country girl. I don't belong in a city. New Orleans was the first city I've ever lived in my whole life, and I'm grateful that I did. But I don't belong in one. And if me being such a like traveler, it was overloaded, I can't imagine these animals that have been so abused trying to heal. You're trying to heal in the same spot that hurt you. First of all, and we all know nobody or anything can heal like that.
Right. It's like trying to live in the house you're remodeling. It doesn't work that
Yeah, like
way.
it's not, and just not being able to ever have any peace. And it's so, the things that were happening, like I said, like the dogs are in a warehouse. They don't get to, our employees had like little turnouts and they did everything that they could with the means that we have in a city. But out here, like watching these dogs, and this is the best word I can use, watching them frolic
I
in
love
these
the frolic.
in these grass like big play yards, and watching them run around and like play in these little kiddie pools and just get to heal is beautiful. And I told my mom with my location, I was like, okay, I need you to give me, because we have satellite houses. So we're set up in ways where it's different areas are for, different needs. Not every dog can handle being in a kennel, even in a peaceful place. Some need to be in a house. So we have another location near me that an amazing woman runs, and it's a satellite house. So all the dogs are crated indoors, and they come outside all day, and then they go back inside the house. But she wasn't as experienced. She was having some difficulties with some of the dogs from the city, and I was like, "Give me them. I'll give you some of my easies." And I told my mom, make a list of like, because I have cabins out back. That's what I call them. I have the pit bull cabin, the hound cabin, and then I call it the loony bin, which is all just my funny, weird dogs. Um, so I asked her for 5 difficult pit bulls from the city that were going to have the most issues because I have the manpower and the knowledge to handle them. They gave me room for my money. But they're doing wonderful now. And we have a new parolee that works for us, and he came from Florida. He just started, but he did the prison dog training program in Florida. So he wanted to come here to train dogs. My most wild pit bull that came from New Orleans, I've never had my patience tested so much with a dog where I literally had to be like, woosah, because
Yeah.
he was so sporadic and not aggressive, just like everywhere.
Just all over the place. Yeah.
I have videos of him 2 days ago laying in Kevin's lap, just sprawled out, like, all right, I am at peace. And I got that video and I was like, oh my goodness, right now.
Yeah.
I get to facilitate things like that. And it's a good feeling.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be. Whenever you know that you are having such a positive effect on a soul that's around you, that is, for me, that's everything. I love having that effect on people, whether it be me whenever I'm the court jester of some event, or or whatever the case may be, like adding joy and letting someone be comfortable enough to just be who they actually are and
Yeah.
not always triggered by X, Y, or Z. It's a really cool moment, and I absolutely love it. So, how have dogs been a part of your family's heritage and like helping dogs in a way? Has that been a part of your like entire life?
I literally was birthed into this. I know nothing else. When I tell people like how we started and how I grew up, people don't believe me because it sounds absolutely absurd until they see pictures and they're like, oh, you actually did. Villalobos means village of the wolves.
Yes.
And Villalobos started as a pit bull or a wolf rescue. My mom did movie work with our wolves. The Jungle Book, the first live action one, was our wolves. My mom worked on it with those bears, the tiger, all that stuff.
That's cool.
So we started with just wolves. We got our first pit bull named Tatanka in the early 90s, and I surprisingly remember it, and I was so little. And it was a total accident. She was in a court case, so they had to keep her at the shelter because she was technically evidence. It was an abuse case.
Wow.
They had tied fishing wire around her ears and held it so tight until her ears fell off. My mom was at the shelter with me and my older sister for some reason, and I remember my sister and I sitting on a bench, and I only remember parts of it because I was so young. So you got to remember, back in the 90s, pit bulls were like bears to people.
Yeah, they were ostracized in a major way.
Like no one, it was bad.
People
but
totally
I guess
forgot they used to babysit children when you weren't home.
That's what they were, the nanny dogs. I get Tatanka had broke loose from the animal control officer at the shelter and was taking off towards my sister and I, and my mom just goes running trying to get to us. Tatanka got to us first. She tackled my sister and I over backwards. My mom said all she'd heard was a bunch of giggling because Tatanka was licking us. My mom was like, oh my God. Okay. And my mom said, I want that dog. And my mom had to wait until the court case was over, and Tatanka started all of Villalobos. So because of that one pit bull, hundreds of thousands of pit bulls have been saved because of that one dog.
Wow.
But yeah, Villalobos
that's powerful.
Yeah, Villalobos was wolves. So at one point we had, I think, like 20 something wolves, around 200 pit bulls, and then we had 3 bears, 3 tigers, a black leopard, a one-eyed bobcat, a lioness, a lynx that attacked my sister. The lioness was an asshole. That was my sister, Sahara. I raised 3 baby raccoons. I had a deer that lived in my bedroom with my pit bull and I literally was feral.
A deer that lived in your bedroom with your pit bull and and you act like we're not going to stop and talk about that for a second.
Her name was Tina.
You're like, and so anyway. That was Tuesday.
That was my normal life.
How did the deer hurt itself and you brought it back and it became loyal? Like, how do you end up with?
Well, she passed away we didn't expect her to even live as long as she did. I was, I think, in like 6th grade. That someone had found her prematurely born. She was born in winter, and the mom was nowhere to be found. And they brought her to me, or to my mom. And you know, me being the child that I was like, all right, give me it. I'll take care. Like with any animal we got, I'm like, all right, give me. It'll come stay in my room. My sister had a skunk she raised in her room. I had 3 baby raccoons that lived with me. But the deer, I had to bottle feed, wipe its butt to make it go to the bathroom. But me, my pit bull, and Tina lived in my room. But she only got to be, once she was bigger, we would have, built her something. But she ended up passing away. They didn't even think she would live as long as she did.
Right. So
my
raccoons, some really great times.
Yeah, my raccoons lived to be until old age and passed away. They were
Raccoons are amazing as pets.
They were so much fun. I always tell people I was like 14. I was 14 and pregnant. I had to bottle feed 3 baby raccoons every couple hours and wake up in the middle of the night. I just remember trying to feed 3 raccoons, like sleepy and feeding these little babies. And when I wouldn't get to Zorro was a little turd. I didn't get to him quick enough. He bit my finger. But we had Melvin, Booger, and Zorro. Those are my 3 raccoons.
Those are appropriate raccoon names. Like our backyard neighbor had a raccoon for a pet.
They were so much fun.
I forgot about it. And then I came back to visit like I do. Like, you know how I am. I just kind of show up. If I send someone a random text, like, what you doing? That means I'm either like 2 exits away or I'm having a beer down the street. And I'm going, well, here, do you want to
That's how most of our friends are, though, I feel like.
Well, yeah, because we're doers. Like, we all are. Yeah. Every single person we're close to is someone that's like, yeah, I'll totally go to West Texas for tacos. It's only 12 hours away. I'm definitely going to want tacos.
Yeah. That's my famous thing when someone tells me something's like 15 hours away. I'm like, oh, that's easy. And my boyfriend's family will be like, what? And I'm like, it's just a quick drive. No big deal.
See, I hate driving that far. It feels like I've clocked into work. Now, if I'm riding a
It is
motorcycle,
work for me though.
yeah, oh yeah, exactly, right? I mean, usually when I'm on the road and we've got the toy hauler and everything, we're on like event season mode and we're going
Yeah.
on the tour. So it most certainly is clocking in. So it's like, if someone wants me to come hang out and they want me to bring my truck, we better be doing truck things when I get there.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to
Rightfully
be like,
so.
I could have taken my motorcycle instead.
Yeah, I always have. I mean, I'm normally traveling with dogs, or I have to put my bike in the back and drive. But I don't know. I love driving long distance. It's always been my mom always offers to have someone drive with me. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I would so much rather drive by myself and just have that. I like being alone though, so I guess there's that.
I mean, and that's super healthy, right? That either you're super narcissistic or just very comfortable with who you are.
Well, I'm gonna hope which one it is, but no, I mean, I obviously I enjoy my friends. I I love being around people, but I don't know, alone time being on the road is just my like. Also, like
There
I
is
want to
zen
listen.
out there, and
The
like,
main thing is I want to listen to the music I want to listen to, and when I drive, like some people when they drive, they love being on the phone, and that's when they get phone calls done. Don't you fucking dare call me when I'm on like that. My time in the car is my time to sing until my voice gets raspy, and I don't want anyone telling me what music I'm going to listen to because I am going to be listening to really shitty country, and it's going to be from the '90s or the '80s, and you're not going to tell me any different.
and you better be okay with it.
Well, they don't have a choice. You're getting in my truck. You're going to listen. This is not a democracy once you get in my truck. I don't run a democracy.
That is not how this works. No, I feel you. If you got the steering wheel in your hand, like it is up to you of what happens everywhere else in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Like I also love spending a bunch of time by myself, and I love traveling with my partner more than anything.
I would
But
rather travel with Bo, but
yeah,
you know, that's not an option.
but that alone time stuff, like it's excellent. I mean, whether you're on four wheels or two, and you
Sorry.
and I, what
A
happened?
choir in the background.
Good. Oh, how dare you
Can you hear
actually
them?
have dogs around? You mean it's not just for branding?
Yeah, my choir that's in there that's mad that they're not out. Anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
They're like, come love us, mom.
So pathetic.
How often do you get out with your own self on motorcycles, or do you typically do that in a pack? Because I know that you've been riding with the Moto Maidens, which I want to talk about for the last few years now, which are obviously some of my favorite women in the motorcycle community. Y'all are I just see y'all, and it reminds me when I started in roller derby back in 2005. I was like,
Thank you. I think.
these are some absolutely gorgeous, intelligent, driven,
Oh,
for the most part,
Chunky.
type A, like get shit done chicks out there
Yeah.
and get out of my way. And
Yeah.
that's it's kind of like totally remind when I saw you guys
I
like
love that.
solidify, I was like, this is legit. This is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun. Well, right now I don't have a motorcycle to ride after mine got stolen. But something good
That's
ended up.
right. I didn't know if you were able to recover that or not.
No, I'm sure later down there, people are looking for it. Everyone, that whole state is looking for it. So
I
whoever
have no
stole it,
doubt.
I know for a fact it's still sitting in their garage because there is no way they're going to be able to sell it to anybody. There's people looking for them that I did not ask for, and
I understand what you're saying.
I would not want them looking for me.
No, yeah, not down there.
No, I didn't ask for it, but they
But thanks
offered.
for helping out.
Yeah, thanks, guys. But still, it was just the emotional aspect. I mean, I cannot believe I fucking cried on the news, but I was so emotional because my brother's
Wait.
ashes. It was
Oh,
all over.
go
It
ahead.
was 3 different news stations came
Yeah.
and showed up. Because like word got out, I guess, and they called us. But so when my older brother Colin passed away, his sister made me a gremlin bell with his ashes in it, and that was on that bike. And then I had a bandana from my other friend that passed away on that bike. So it was just the emotion behind it. And of course, your
Right.
bike gets stolen. I've gone through so many emotional things with that hunk of junk. And it was a hunk of junk, but it was my hunk of junk.
Exactly.
But no, good things came out of it now because now I went from my Sportster that was always breaking down and falling apart because I decided to do, work on things myself because that's what we
How
do.
dare you do what you want? What
I
do you think
know.
you are, an adult?
But now I have the 2 bikes that I've wanted, that I get to build now. I have my big twin and my panhead. So now I'm building dream bikes. So
Well, I mean, who hates that? Not me.
yeah, so good things came out of it, and as emotional as I was now, because my bike I didn't build. I got this bike and then was changing things and fixing things on
I
it.
remember, yeah.
So I've never built a bike that I've wanted. It's just changed up. Like when I got that Sportster, it had a 14 over Springer on it. It was like so many things. It was just. I remember that little 1.2
That
gallon
little
tank that I
tiny
had on.
tank.
I still have it. It's cute, but
Well, yeah,
it just.
you could turn that into a freaking ring. Like that was a tiny little tank. That'll fit right there on that spoon. Like beep.
I mean, I upped it to like 2
Have you seen
gallons.
my fuel tank? It's my
um,
reserve.
no, yeah, that is a reserve tank.
Yeah.
But now I get to build what I want.
So what
So no, I
style
haven't
are
been on
you
the
wanting to
road.
build? What do you want? What are you working on right now? Are you working on the panhead right
The,
now or the big twin?
the big twin, because the big twin's gonna that's gonna be my adventure bike. The bike that the maidens and I hit the road when I want to hit the road and go. That's the bike that is going. We're going.
Have you started
um.
on the rebuild of it yet? Do you have some progress of it going?
So Daryl Borba from Bad Chopper. That's who I love that man. I love his family. They're just
Yeah.
wonderful. I had dropped it off to him, and then he got in that accident. And thank the gods, he is with us still and moving around and doing well. And even though I do need I need that bike done at, like by a certain time. I don't want to do that I don't want to build with anybody else but Daryl. Him and I have that like.
There's a connection sometimes
Yeah,
between a
I
person
don't
and
want
an
I don't want
artist.
anyone else to do it. Especially like building a bike is so sentimental for me, and just your motorcycle in general. It's not even building one. It's sentimental. I don't care how cheesy that is. There is. I
I love
also am.
cheese. It's delicious.
I also love cheese.
I'm just saying, we could talk about that for a while.
I have this weird thing, and I've had so many people ask me why I name all of my vehicles and like my knives, my guns, all my things have names. I'm not a person that needs excess, but the things I do have, I put a lot of sentiment into, like a lot of sentiment. And I think of like the memories I've had with them, the things I've done with them, all these things.
Right? Yeah, they all
So
tell a
I'm the
story.
person that like really holds on to that sentiment. Um, so me building this with Daryl, I don't want anyone else to do it but him. And I told him that. I was like, I will wait my fucking ass. I don't care. I want to do this with you. He's also going to build the panhead with me. The When I was in New Mexico and my Sportster got stolen, I I decided at the end of the trip, I was like, oh my God, I know what I'm going to call my next bike. The name is always what comes to me first. But I'm going to tell you because it might make you cry because it's going to be sentimental for you also.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, my little brother that passed away that you loved and you were close with, my little brother did not ride motorcycles. But one drunken evening in my living room, we heard something, and Miguel, my little brother, was like, oh, that would be a great motorcycle name. And I was like, holy shit, it would. I'm doing it. And he goes, no, I'm using it. And I was like, you don't fucking ride motorcycles. And he goes, it's mine. I'm using it. But it was just like we were arguing funny back and forth. But now my little brother, he just passed away, and I was like, holy shit, I got to use that fucking name for him. It's Back Alley Sally. That's the name of my big twin.
I love that.
Back
That's
Alley
awesome.
Sally. Thanks, Miguel.
That's a great tribute to Miguel.
Right? And that
what a fun loving, emo singing, mullet rocking son of a bitch. I tell you what. I mean, put that on the epitaph if it's not there already. Yeah, he was a joy to be around for sure.
He made everyone smile. But like, talk about sentiment. Of course, I had to just really up it there.
Yeah,
But
you did. I mean, I got tears in 4K over here.
it came to me and I was just like, all right, I'm already crying because this bike got stolen. I was like, dude, Miguel would be so stoked on this. We're doing it. So
I'm
Back
excited
Alley
to see it come
Sally will be
together.
coming first, and that will be my adventure buddy.
When's he supposed to be well enough to get started on it?
He is kind of started cleaning up my frame and stuff right now. He has the frame that it came, it's matching frame engine. He's moving around, and Daryl's able to like weld and stuff right now, sitting down, and he's doing what he can. So, but he told me when we were at Mama Tried, he's like, no, I've been slowly like working on your frame. I was like, why? First of all, are you doing that? But also, fuck yes. So
Because it's probably helping him get through the day right now with as much
Daryl
pain
loves
as
to
he's
work.
got to be in. Like,
Yeah.
at least he's got his hands doing what he actually enjoys. And when it's done, it'll be like, this is how I look at this one from Back Alley Sally is how I process my pain. Which, I mean, that's a
Sounds so
country song
naughty.
waiting to happen right
That is
there.
such a
Back Alley Sally. Nope, not gonna.
oh my goodness. It's such a I'm so pumped on that name. You have no idea.
Oh yeah, we're already having a great time with it, and it just now like hit the
And it's not
airwaves.
even built yet.
I know, yeah. She's got a story that she hasn't even told herself.
All the adventures I'm gonna have with Sally. You have no idea.
Well, what are the adventures that you have coming up? So you and the Moto Maidens, this is your third year together, fourth year.
So season 3 is being edited right now,
Awesome.
which takes. So you got to think about it. So we're on our bikes for 7 days, and we have a full production crew. It's all women, but we're filming from the time we get up until the time we go to sleep. Having to, I don't do any of the editing, by the way. Having to go
I know.
through 7 days of all of those hours of footage, and then trying to get everything together, and then we send it to the first one to Harley, and then we go back and forth on editing and all that stuff, and then go to the next one. So it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. All the work
I,
is after the cameras are turned off.
I
That's where
mean,
all the work is.
if we didn't have a camera crew with us, our rides would be that's what, when we said like 1,000 miles in 7 days is a lot. I know that's not a lot.
Filming
When
though,
you
it
have,
is.
people don't understand like when we rode with the Litas in Albuquerque, which was so much fun for us. Afterwards, all of them were like, holy shit, this is a lot of work. When you wake up, like everyone has to get mic'd up, and then you have to realize that they need to get ahead of you, and then like whatever time it would take you to get this ride done, triple it. That's
Yeah.
literally what it takes. And then like batteries will die, and you got to stop exactly what you're doing, and like it's just this whole, and then cameraing all of the bikes.
It's kind
It's
of
just this.
relentless. Like it doesn't. It's a little unforgiving. It doesn't let up.
No, it doesn't. And like, thankfully, I was really well equipped for it because we'd filmed Pitbulls and Parolees for half of my life.
Yeah.
So I was used to it. But the Maidens, our first ride, they had never dealt with it. So I'm glad I picked the women that I did to do this with, because they all handled it with ease. It was like, we got this. But it's a lot of stinking work.
What do you think
And
it requires the most of you?
what do you mean? The ride, like the ride?
Well, like just being the ride for sure, but being a part of a production like that and getting through the day in grace. Like, what character trait do you think is the most valuable in those scenarios? Is it teamwork? Is it patience? Like, what do you think?
Oh, so here's the thing that
Is it
made
yes,
it
both of those?
that made it yes. The answer is yes. The thing that made it a little bit harder on me is I had to be a producer, and then I had to be in front of the camera. So I would have to go have meeting away from the girls real quick before we take off, and do producer Mariah and talk to our other producer Candace, who is God's gift to earth. Um, somehow the things, and on top of that, like, and then I'd have to get in front of the camera, and then back behind it. The thing that people don't get also, if we were just the 5 of us riding, we could stop wherever we wanted. So altogether, there's 10 of us. I have to, because they are a production crew, I have to stop at a certain amount of time for them to have lunch. It's required.
Right.
So we can't just ride through. I have to find somewhere for them to individually sleep, a hotel every time we stop. So calling, and we don't know where we're going to end up. So you can't call really ahead of time. Finding somewhere when you're in the middle of nowhere for 10 women to stay in a hotel.
Super easy, right?
No. The maidens and I would sleep on the side of the road. We don't care, but we can't do that. And that's what other
Right.
people don't get and we don't talk about on the show. I think patience is the biggest thing when you have that, and being able, not only that, just being able to roll with it and being like, all right, this is what's happening. This is what we're doing. Just go. Like, let's just go. You have to be able to let go
I think the
and
reason,
not hold on
yeah,
to things.
I think one of the reasons why y'all work so well together is because y'all are those people in real life already. It
Yeah.
seems like because we've all been through some adversity together. You know, I'm really close with most of your squad.
Yeah.
You
Which
know,
I love.
me too. It made me so happy seeing you guys come together. I'm like, oh man, I genuinely like have real friendships and care for these people,
Yeah.
and I can only imagine like how much more inspiration is going to come out of what y'all do together. But all of you at some point have taken the reins of your life and gone your own direction, and that requires a certain amount of, well, this thing happened, fine, what's next, and how do we
Yeah.
accomplish this thing, instead of still sitting at that, oh, this thing happened. Like, you wouldn't be where you are if you got stuck in a rut that way, and neither would any of the other women.
No.
And it's just, I think that's, it probably works because it's naturally who y'all are. I don't see a lot of acting happening on that show.
And it'd be a lot easier if we were acting, I'll tell you
It
that much.
probably would be.
Sam, I was honestly shocked at how, like, what an easy flow it was with all of us together. I think we just have so much respect with, like, you're on these trips, like, things are going to happen. We're all going to have good days, bad days, but all of us work so dang well and, like, communicate really well with each other. And I don't know. I didn't expect it to go as beautiful as it did. I'll tell you that. I was so over the moon at how things just flowed, and I knew like we'd have ups and downs and all that stuff, but even after like the first ride that we did in Montana, I was like, damn, how did we do that
That was
good?
awesome. That was so
Like, we
fast.
did that, and you have those 5 women, and then you have 5 women on production that also they have to get their stuff done and their work done because this is their job
It's a
also.
circus. I mean, you got
So
a tiny
it's a
little carnival going
fucking
across the. I mean, I'm wearing a
circus.
circus shirt right now. I went to the
Are you?
circus for my birthday. It's the greatest
Wait,
show on
what?
earth.
Oh, yep,
Ringling Brothers.
yep. No,
And
I was.
they don't use animals anymore, just
Well, I know.
humans. And I tell you what, I totally forgot about it, and it is a great show.
I haven't been. Hang on.
It's totally worth it. Like, regardless if they have smelly animals that you really hope are being treated well or not, like, it's an excellent show. I
I
was
think it's just
super
being on the
surprised.
road is so heavy on an animal, like especially bigger animals. Like my mom's friend had. What? We don't have. You know where I live in the middle of nowhere, and all these big old trucks coming down here. Uh, more of them. Is the sound?
I
Is
can't
it
hear
bad?
anything. No,
Wonderful. I'm so
you're
used to
gravy.
with production when we're doing interviews that we have to stop anytime one of those noise happens because we have the boom and then these mics pick up
Yeah,
everything.
that boom will pick up the world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a zoo, but we do it and we handle it, and I don't know how. By the end of it, you're very exhausted.
Yeah, but satisfied, I bet.
I know that when I am way later in life going to look back, and I'm sure you can relate to this, and most of our friends that ride will look back on those memories and think those are the best years of my life.
Oh, man, core memories, right? I was thinking about this today. It's like, um, it- the ability and the openness to continue to create core memories throughout
Yeah,
adulthood
yeah,
is something that I look around a lot of times and I feel like a lot of people are missing that boat, you know, and it's such a blessing, hey, to be at a time of like,
is that me or you? Is
no,
that your fucking phone
of
again?
course it's me. It's a new computer. I don't think I figured out how to turn that one thing off.
Okay. Anyways, no, that was you were keep going. That was beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, it's like whenever you have the time and you have the commitment to like truly living your life to where you can continue to create core memories as an adult is almost like a superpower. Like, you never get bored. Like, no matter what you're doing, whether it be work or anything else, you always find another angle because constantly working towards improvement. And if you're constantly working towards improvement, that's an action. That means you're moving. And eventually it's going to change and get exciting in a different way because
Yeah.
you open your heart to it and you open your universe to it and say, okay, this is what I want for me. I don't know how to make this happen, but I'm going to get it started so
Yeah.
things can follow through. It's like, right now, I feel like you're in one of those periods of life just focused on motorcycle stuff, just that part of the lifestyle and that part of your enjoyment that you get out of it. I feel like you're in the middle of creating a bunch of those core memories. You're going to look back on these years way down the road when both of us are. I'll be silver haired. You'll still be amber. It'll be perfect. It won't have changed at all. The tattoos will be
I love
excellent.
gray hair. I love gray hair.
But I think you're gonna look back on these years, and that's one of the things that excites me because I think all of you are, and I love all of you guys so much, and it's really cool. Like, how do you not take that for granted?
I definitely do not. It's even like the maidens rides or going to any of the events that we get to go to, whether it's like me going to one of the camping events or like Mama tried all of these things. I think that that's something that most of us that ride, we have this really childlike wonder for the world of constantly, like, it doesn't matter if you're in your 20s or your 50s or your 60s, everyone that rides and still does, we have that childlike wonder within us where it's like, yes, we will adult and do adult things, but it gives us, I think motorcycles give us that because for some reason, all of us have this need for adventure and experiencing new things and cultures and people, and
It's
that
like the
keeps us.
explorer gene, right?
Yeah,
Like
no, it
we're
is, and
supposed to
that's the
open all the
childlike
doors.
wonder of it, and I think that that is part of art for us within that community. That is our childlike wonder, and this I don't see myself ever not wanting to do that. And like I look at people out where I live, we all have different views of what a perfect life is to us. Mine, I will never leave where I live. I love my home. I love being home. I love getting to be here, but I love getting to travel and do those things. I love traveling to places because I love that I get to come home. But I could never live this like day to day life that some people are chosen that's beautiful for them of just like this same mundane thing. And that is beautiful for some people. I'm not one of those.
Right, 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 right,
That's
right,
just
right.
not for me. And that's what I'm saying of this like this constant exploring and adventure and meeting new people and seeing different cultures and how things are to me and that childlike wonder it keeps us, I don't want to say young because that's not it. I definitely feel very settled in myself.
I think it
Very.
keeps us engaged.
Yeah.
And when you
That's a beautiful
stay
way to put it.
engaged
Yeah.
with the world around you and with your body and your soul,
Yeah.
like you don't age like everyone else does.
Yeah.
Like you just don't, like, because you're not supposed to stop. Like retirement is a construct, like
Yeah.
straight up. Yeah, you're supposed to retire from maybe like having to go to work, but that doesn't mean that you go sit in an easy chair for the next
No.
20, 25 years and watch everybody else live their lives. Like, no, you got to
Yeah.
go find what this new level of freedom is for you. I mean,
Yeah.
and I see it a lot, and it really it drives me to never allow myself to be complacent. So and like to never be satisfied, which I only mean to a certain percentage because at
I
some point you
struggle with
gotta
that.
you gotta
Also,
bathe in like your success every once in a while and be like, all
I'm
right,
not
this
good at
was
that.
rad. I'm
I'm
not
not good at
either.
that at all.
Yeah, I could tell you're like squirming in your chair. You're like, oh
If,
God, he's gonna make
if
me
it's
unpack this.
no, it's a hard thing though. Is and
It
I've
is.
it's something I've thought really, really heavy and deep into. Of am I ever going to be satisfied with myself? And not in the sense of I mean with like the work that I'm doing. I
Right.
am very happy with who I am as a person, and I will always continue to grow. But I constantly think that I should work harder or do more. You know what I mean? And I need to do what you're saying, and it's something that I'm working on of being proud of myself of the work that I've done because I'm constantly like, let's do more, let's do more,
Next
let's do
thing,
more.
next thing. It's like
Yeah,
you have to
like
celebrate that thing.
take a
It
second
doesn't
and
mean you got to
celebrate
take
what
a
you
week
just did,
off.
woman.
Yeah, give yourself a pat on the back and be like, hey, you just
Yeah,
really put some serious effort and
I
energy
think
into
that's what
this.
the maidens help me with though because they are very much the same of like we want to push ourselves, which is not a bad thing, but we all at the end of each ride, all of us are like, dude, we just did that. We did that.
Yeah.
I don't know how the F we did it, but we did it. Like all the things that happen, and you're just like, dang. All right. All
And
right, fine.
it's almost like
Fine.
the worst of the situation, the worse the situation you have to like overcome is, the
hmm
better the result. You're like, man, that was terrible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're saying it with like a really big smile on your
None
face.
of us have ever, with all of the bad situations that have happened to us, we all just fucking laugh the whole time.
Good.
Um, I don't, none of us have ever gotten mad about one of our bad situations or like freaked out. The only time we freak out is when
When
it's when
when
you're the
Sabrina
problem
drops her
child.
motorcycle.
No, but we still they smoked a CBD joint and we figured it out and we went. But no, the only time we get upset is when I like if I'm the problem child, I get upset that I'm the problem child because I'm holding the girls up and they don't give a shit. They're like, whatever, we'll figure it out. Like,
They're like, oh, you're holding us up. We had no idea.
yeah, like
That's how
they
many
don't
carrots we
care.
forgot to bring with us.
Um, but still, all those things that like the breakdowns, all of those little things, we know already that like this is going to be the story we're telling is these breakdowns and these funny things where we're like, just get. We always make
Ta-da!
jokes the whole time, and Zoe's the one that always says it. She's like, the best way through all these bad things is to laugh through it.
You can, I
and
mean,
and we do.
the energy that gets exerted during those scenarios and all the other
hmm
scenarios is a choice.
Yeah,
Somebody punches you in the mouth, the next move is up to you.
your reaction
Like,
to it. Yeah.
yeah, whether it's
Yep.
life, breaking your motorcycle, or I mean, someone stealing your damn motorcycle. Like, well, okay, what's the
I
way
cried a
through?
whole bunch, but
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta let stuff out. That's healthy. That's super healthy. Like, you can't be bottling that up. That was a big emotional thing. But
I still did the ride, and it wasn't
yeah, you
on. That's
didn't quit the whole time. Someone
no
supplied you with a bike too,
a bike I was
and
very uncomfortable on, and
well,
then
yeah,
towards
it's
the end of
someone
the ride,
else's. Yeah,
yeah. But I told her I was like, "Are you sure?" This woman is just like I could not even believe that she let me take her bike. And not only that, she made me a really sweet gift, which I can't say.
that's really
She made me a
nice.
sweet gift because of what I had lost to take on her bike. But I told her, I was like, we beat our bikes up on these trips. Like, are you sure? And I was like, I'm not like, I can't take your bike consciously knowing how we treat bikes on these trips.
Right? Yeah.
We find the
I just don't like
mountains,
riding other people's bikes very much. Like, I'm not
me
really
either.
into it.
And
Maybe
not
like around
only
the block and be like, "Ooh, that was cool. That's fun. There's your bike back."
Yeah, same. Yeah, we know our bikes and our stuff. But I'll tell you this, I rode someone else's bike and guess who didn't break down for the first time?
Hey, maybe you should see who her mechanic is.
I thought it was funny, but
I think it's great. See what
no.
happens when you don't work on your own stuff? The motorcycle runs.
I went to the
You
school
know,
of YouTube,
maybe the people
sir.
that stole your motorcycle are still trying to figure out how to start the damn thing.
Well, that was what made me the most mad is that my Linda Lou, I finally had someone work on my bike for the first time in all the years I had had that Sportster.
Right.
It was running like a beast. Like all the power that should have been there because I had the
Finally
1250
showed
kit
up.
on it. I had the 1250 kit on it. And after these guys in Texas worked on it, they're absolutely wonderful. It was running so good and they were getting it ready for me for New Mexico. And I remember riding them being like, I already know I'm not going to be the problem child on this trip. After like riding my bike a bunch, I was like, my bike is top notch right now, better than it's ever been.
Wah, wah. It's
Wah,
so
wah,
good.
wah.
Someone else wanted to ride it full time. That's how good it is.
Yeah. Well, no, it got worse too because this is done. I don't know if I should talk about this on there because it's not nothing illegal happened. I can talk about it. Um,
I'm here for the story right now.
so
Just because you had to think about it.
my had a plate for this whole time I've had the Sportster from my Suzuki Savage on that bike.
Yeah.
I bought the bike. It just wasn't legally titled to me because it was such a mess. I tried to get it titled. You know, the DMV is like, this is a custom bike. You need to go get it inspected by the sheriffs to make sure it's not stolen because
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So I did after a very long time of having a different plate on it. Got inspected. It's not stolen. Shocker. Got the paper and then was going to go try and register, do all that stuff. My title place closed down. They disappeared. So they had my title. And
That's fun.
all these things happened. And what ended up happening was I had a bike that was not registered to me with a different plate on it. The plate was registered to me. It was mine, not stolen. Nothing was stolen. Okay.
Not by you, at least.
No. But I knew the bike wasn't stolen because the sheriff inspected it. The plate was registered to me, but it was just a little Suzuki Savage.
Yeah, it's
So
totally fine, right? That's a gray area.
when my bike got stolen in New Mexico, and I wasn't even gonna call the cops. My mom was like, "Just do it, just so that you have something on record," because I knew I wasn't gonna get it back. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Fine." And when they asked me for the plate number, I was like, "Well, I said
About
I don't
that.
know." I plead the fifth, and then they're like, "Well, can you have someone find your title and give you the number on it?" And I was like, "Nobody's at my house. No."
We're all out here on the road.
just making shit up. And they're like, well, if the cops do get your bike back, they're not going to give it back to you without you showing proof that it's in your name. And I was like, all right, there goes
Bye
that
bye,
bike. So
motorcycle. Time for a
yeah.
mid-twin.
So no matter what,
Somebody at the
I
police
only just
department's riding a motorcycle.
you're welcome. It's running great now. Oh goodness.
So, what can we look forward to with the Moto Maidens in season 3? What can you touch on?
We did something that we didn't know if it was going to work. Something that Pastor, come here. The whole ride was a charity ride.
Right?
And
Yeah.
that's why I was like, I have to do this ride. We raised money for 3 different rescues. One was a wolf sanctuary, and then 2 different beautiful dog rescues. And we did it through shirt sales online, and people could donate and stuff. And we went and visited all them. So instead of us going to meet different female businesses, all of these things, the whole ride was going to these dog rescues. So I finally got to combine my two, like really combine my
Yeah.
2 worlds. And the girls, the maidens had brought up anything that we do, the girls try and turn it into something for charity. Just so beautiful. It doesn't matter what we're doing. They're like, all right, well, what can we do to help? It's always to them like we exist in this world to help each other. And that's how I was raised as well. So us finally getting to do this ride and raising all this money for these 3 different nonprofits was really amazing. And they're all doing absolutely amazing things, and I can't wait to share it with everybody. We definitely, now that we proved to ourselves that it can be done, it's something we want to keep doing. I don't think we're going to be able to do it like we did last time of doing the whole ride, hitting all these different rescues and stuff.
Right.
But we definitely can figure out some way to make each ride that we do. I know we can figure out how to make each full ride a charity ride.
Well, a
If I,
wagon wheel with different colored spokes is way more interesting than a brown wheel. So if you've got different things going on, different boxes you can check, not only does that keep people engaged, but it keeps you engaged. It keeps you passionate about what you're doing. And I think it's really cool to see this because, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of like Mariah, and not just you, but like speaking about you, this is like one of your coming out parties in your timeline because for the first time, it's not, I'm here and this is what my family does. I was raised this way.
Mhm.
These are your fingerprints. This is the businesses that I run. This is the jam that I do. And the other ladies have their own versions of that story as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
And I think it's rad to see you in your power, like,
Aw.
and it's your show. You're the captain at the helm, and it makes my heart really big for you.
I just drank a glass of wine. You're gonna make me cry. Don't do that. No, it's
That's okay. We do that
definitely
here.
it's definitely been because my entire life since I was born has always been dedicated to the servitude of others and giving it. You've always had to put yourself on the back burner, and thankful I love that is what my family has done. But my whole life has been about our own needs on the back burner, and that is how it's a beautiful thing. But it was really nice to do something kind of self-serving and getting to also use that to naturally help and showcase other women. And this time a charity ride. I just wanted to ride motorcycles with my girlfriends, and while we were doing it, get to
Be a part of the solution.
Yeah, and showcase all of these amazing women all over the country and their businesses and the state that we're in. Because so here's the thing, when we're on the road, we're like hauling ass to the next place. You're just riding through these places.
Yeah.
That's why we picked to stay in one state at a time for a full week, because you're just crossing through. We don't want to pass through. If we're gonna be in your state, we want to appreciate it and like show what it is. And it's not this like uh woman man haters club that some people seem to think it is, which is funny
It's
because
hilarious.
I
Yeah,
the things that
y'all are
people
all
have
some of
said.
my closest friends.
No, but they're like, well, you won't. It's been more beautiful than bad, but hearing just a couple men be like, you're losing a lot of audience by not showcasing men. We're like, it's always been a boys club. Let us have some fun. I don't want to ride with boys right now. I want to ride with my
You know what?
girlfriend.
If that's what they want to see, tell them to go start their own
Like
show.
that's
Like,
what. Oh, we've said it.
yeah,
I don't.
I would love to know all the things that were said. That by
We've had
itself would be entertaining.
some fun ones. I don't, and none of that bothers me because um it's actually when we did a Harley homecoming this last year,
Yeah,
we
what a
thought that
great
our
time.
fan base predominantly was women, and we had so many men, not in a creepy way, not hitting on us, none of that, come up to us and saying how um, great it was watching us like tackle these things, like the support that came from it. And my favorite was that Mama Tried when you and I were just there. This man came up to me and was like, "My little daughter asked me to watch Moto Maidens every morning." And hearing that like a little girl is watching it, I'm like, see, this is why it's a girls club and why
That
we have Moto
yeah,
Maidens, not like all of us, because it has been predominantly men. I'm not saying that I don't feel welcome. I feel 100% welcome in the motorcycle community. It's not me
absolutely.
trying to shove my way through being like, I'm here. No, I'm just simply existing and doing what makes me happy. And if I get to know that a little girl is watching it and her being like, okay, I can do whatever I'm setting my heart to, and or if I can't, I'm gonna dang sure try. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I grew up working on cars and motorcycles, so it's something I love. That's been predominantly masculine. Seeing women do that makes you feel like you can too. Oh,
absolutely. It's empowering.
it is. It's
It
very
very much
empowering.
is empowering. Like, I
And you
got
know what? Sorry,
go
what were we
ahead.
saying?
No, screw me.
Oh, no, no,
They gotta
no.
hear me every episode.
I've always ridden with men. I love my male friends, but this is the first time in my life that I've been able to like have that power in riding with women. And it's really nice because we don't have to explain to each other when we have really bad cramps and we need to pull over for a minute, or why I want to brush my hair because it's in a giant rat's nest, or why I want to put on mascara that day even though I'm wearing a helmet. It's great.
Tell me about it.
You understand the hair thing. I know you do.
Totally, yes, yes, I definitely do.
It's nice to ride with like-minded people. It's great riding with men. I love my guy friends, but damn do I prefer while on these long trips riding with women.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
we're also
yeah,
tougher, sorry.
everybody deserves to have their own time with like their tribe, and like usually you're like your true tribe are like it's gonna be either point of view or gender specific, just out of the
And we
options
get
that
to
are
have
out there.
all of that
Yeah, you get to do
with
you get
men
to say
and
yes to
women.
all of it. Yeah, and that's the best thing. Variety is amazing. Like I love that you've got several things that the Moto Maidens are focusing on. You're getting to do more of your canine care work.
Mhm.
And what else do you think that the Moto Maidens could focus on in the future? Like, where do you want to see him go?
So here's the thing that we've all talked about a lot. The rest of the maidens and I know that this could be something a lot bigger if all of us had the time. And this is the hard thing. All of us have careers outside of the Moto Maidens. A lot of our friends that do this motorcycle stuff, that is their full-time job and they get to focus on it. We don't. This is a funsy hobby, which sucks because we all want to make something really big and beautiful out of this and be able to push it further and further and be able to do more things. But unfortunately, all of us have careers outside of this
Yeah, you have
also.
other things to accomplish. It turns out you're
um,
not a one-trick pony. Like you
I
have
would love
a
this to
lot of
be my
things you can do.
main focus. one of my main focuses, and so do the rest of the
See?
maidens. But I know I can't even say that. But
Can't
like,
even say it.
no, but Savvy, two of them were going through school. Amanda was in medical school while she was doing this. She would have to leave these rides and fly back straight into finals. Like, these women are so impressive.
Yeah,
All
they're
like so
dedicated.
impressive, but it makes it really hard when like 2 days ago, we're all in the group chat and she's like, "Sorry, I'm in the ER working right now. I'll respond later." And I'm like, "You guys are so cool." Like, so cool, but like that means that we don't have time to make the maidens our full-time thing, unfortunately. Or we would love to. Of course, we want to do another ride and being able to do more charity work. Um, there's a million things that we want to do. It's just finding the time to do it. But one thing I will say about the maidens, we always find a way. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know this better than I. You've got a great opportunity that you have been able to cultivate on your own. So if there's anything on your list that you want to do, just do it. Just make
yeah,
it happen. Just get
that's for
started.
anything.
You've got it really is. And like, we've all got momentum that we're all responsible for and sometimes we're not. But we're all connected to it. So like I mean the podcast, I think I may have mentioned this in all of the episodes so far, and maybe I'll mention it in all of them. I don't know. But even like the podcast, the hardest part was getting started, was to stop planning, was to stop planning. Like the painting is finished. Stop adding to it. Now you're taking
I'm
it
in the
away.
middle of the same thing right now of getting myself started.
Yeah, and it's like the first step is the hardest. And like when you're working on your own motorcycle or your own car and you're not a mechanic or a technician. Like me, I'm not. I'm good with tools. I happen to
Me
be
either.
one sometimes. But that's fine. You give me a tech manual and I can work my way through just about anything.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where the fuck that was going.
Getting started.
Yeah, but like, so the hardest part about doing something like that, which for me still very much requires a great deal of like psyching up and self-confidence before I can get started, just because it intimidates me. And it doesn't stop me though. Like I've built and
What's being
broken and
scared of
rebuilt so many
failure,
things.
being scared that you're not going to succeed. But going, I'm dealing with that with a project right now that's near to my heart where I've been saying I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to find time. And I'm finally like not making excuses anymore. And it's something so near to my heart. Um, but I will not be able to live with myself if I die and don't follow through and do these things that make me
Yeah.
happy. So just fucking do it.
Yep.
What do
Otherwise,
you
just
have to
sit there and
lose?
say "what if" forever. If you haven't learned that, and you is like the royal you, everyone. If you haven't figured out at some point in your life that failure is an unavoidable and extremely, if not most important part of the entire process, starting is not going to get easier. Like when you start, you need to accept a few things. Like this isn't gonna go the way you want it to all the time. Like accept that. That's how I feel like it's probably how you and the ladies can laugh through every calamity that has happened to you guys on the road, all up to the point of someone taking your wheels. Like you still find a way to laugh through it because you have to accept that it's just a part of your story. So don't be
You
afraid
can't
of
get
it.
better if you don't fail. And you're
You
never going to be great at something if you don't fail. I mean, that's what yin and yang
I
is. You
won't
can't have
learn
light without
anything
dark.
if I don't fail. I don't
No,
fail unless I screw up. I mean, I don't learn unless I screw up. I can't
you
even talk
you
right. Good
can't
thing I
have
don't do
light
that for a
without
living.
dark. And I know, right? It's not like you do it professionally or anything. um, but that's why I think all of us have gotten so much more confident being on the road because when we do have breakdowns, we learn how to fix it, or at least figure it out for that time being so that we can move on. And failure is a part of that. And getting past that part of not being scared of failure is definitely something that has made me. It's also like you get to a certain point. Some of us are able to get to a certain point in like our years of just being like, screw it. I don't care about anyone's opinion. If I'm not hurting anybody and I'm not doing anything to hurt myself, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to dress how I want. I'm going to, you know what I mean? And it comes the same thing with failure of like, all right, well, I'm not. I've always said I'm not the person that dips my toe in the pool. I run and jump in the pool. Like,
Cannonball.
yeah, I don't dip my toe in there. Then you gotta run and jump. It's just kind of always been my motto. But see, here's the thing: I plan my jump.
Right. I've
I,
thought about it.
I'm a plan.
I know wind speed, trajectory.
Yeah,
We gotta. I don't know what to do with those
that is
things, but
me.
I have them.
Yeah. No, that's definitely
I
me. I
googled it. That means
plan.
I've done
Mhm.
research. So yeah,
I went to the school of YouTube. I, you know,
the
but I still run and
University of
jump.
the Tube.
Yeah, that's how I learned a lot of things. I feel like most of us. But also, I think with not to go, this will be a whole rabbit hole, so I won't go into this too much. But
I
like,
love rabbits.
social media makes it where people don't show their failures. It's just like I'm good at this. So I think now things are really coming to light and people are showing their more authentic self of like, no, these are all the failures that actually happened for me to get to be this type of artist or play guitar or whatever it is. Now this picture perfect thing isn't what people are idolizing in my eyes at least anymore, which is really beautiful. So it's letting people be more comfortable in those failures and I love that.
Well, it's relatable.
Yeah.
Like, most of us out there, we don't live a perfect life. Most of the people
No.
that pay attention to what we do also don't live a perfect life. We're just literally trying to get through this all with a smile on our face. And whenever they finally see someone that they're like, oh, they're a person.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like even in business, like people are like, what is marketing? I was like, well, marketing is how people get to know you with a plan. And it's like if people want to do business with people they like, if they don't know you, then they don't know that they want to do
Yeah.
business with you yet. Like that's a thing, It's very interesting.
You and I
Yes.
love to yap when we're
I
together.
mean, that's why podcasts exist. I always have people go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting long-winded." I'm like, "Guess what? You're actually on a podcast." And
Yeah.
that's a
Well, I'm
subject.
used to
So
doing this. Well,
I
I
had
know
a
that you had all these questions and stuff, but instead you and I are just like,
all right, good. I'm glad it feels that way because we've been answering all the questions.
oh, have we? Of course we do. You and I have always worked well together, though.
Who knew
It
this was
happens
supposed to
when you're
be just me
neighbors.
hanging out with my homies, and it just
Yeah.
happens to be that.
Can I tell you one of the stories that, not even a story, but one of my favorite little things when you and I were pretty much neighbors that on Thanksgiving you used your tool cart to bring your Thanksgiving additions over. I remember you being dressed all nice and wheeling through the ninth ward with your tool cart with all your food on it to come over to my house for family dinner. It's really cute. I love that.
And please, yeah, that was that was a really fun day, and the
Uh,
traffic, the people, like I didn't realize how much of a thing it was. That was just we had a whole bunch of food to take 4 blocks down the worst sidewalks in the city, which is saying something.
we're like,
Yeah, man, you got to bring a surfboard on that
you
trip.
too, so bad.
And people are just like, "What are these people doing? Are
Bringing
they about to
Thanksgiving
like
dinner.
start selling street food or like what's happening over here?"
Uh,
We had a lot of great fun, and like what a blessing it's been to continue to grow together, even though we don't live a couple of blocks away from each other. I feel like watching everybody from our New Orleans squad has been a joy ever since because I moved away almost 3 years ago now, and haven't really been back a whole lot since.
well, the swamps is calling.
Oh, don't you worry, we're gonna answer that call. That's
Especially
definitely
because
happening.
it is, I mean, it's always boat season here, but like it's
Yeah,
peak weather. It
truly.
was 74 degrees today, but like, once Memorial Day happens, it's just like popping off down here and everyone just bar hops on the boats and like all that stuff. I'm ready to just live in a swimsuit and no shoes for the next
I'm
6
not
months
wearing
because
shoes right now.
I, when am I ever? I go, I mean, even here, like I go to the bar by my house without shoes on. I don't wear shoes. I wear cowboy boots or I don't wear shoes or muck boots at work. Like
I
that's it.
mean, I feel like that works pretty well for most
Yeah.
situations you need out there.
I don't wear shoes. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I love cowboy
I
boots,
don't
but
either. If I run across a tile floor, I sound like a tap dancer. My feet
yeah.
are so hard.
I mean, I live on the water. I live in the swamp. What the hell do I need shoes for?
So we were talking about where you lived when we first started the show, and one thing I want
Mhm.
to ask about was how wild was it for once the swamp wasn't green and it was
Ha!
a winter wonderland with alligator noses sticking out of the water, frozen. Like,
So here's
how
the
much
thing
notice
that
did you guys have that was going to happen? And did you really think it was going to happen that way?
so for those of y'all that don't know, Southern Louisiana got a full-on blizzard. We have
You got
not
like
got
7 inches of snow, didn't you?
no, we got a foot.
Ooh, that's more.
And this is what I try to so apparently it hadn't snowed like that here since 70 something.
Good.
The thing that a lot of people don't understand is that our homes down here are not equipped. Like up north, they don't think about it when it snows. What we have to do is turn all of our water off, drain everything, or all of our pipes will explode. Our infrastructure is not built like that down here.
No, the homes aren't insulated the same way. Like,
No.
everything's totally different.
If I do regret because it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. But I was so stressed out to the point of like almost meltdown because I'm trying to take care of 40 dogs in this weather. 39. Thank you. Well, it depends on the day. Depends on the day.
I'm just being an asshole, okay? Don't ruin
I'm
it for me.
having to keep all those dogs warm was really hard. And then on top of it, we had no water. We got water reserve, but it lasted longer than we thought. It was worse than it was supposed to be. So it was a lot of learning. I was very proud of how warm and how I was proud of how we handled it at my location. It was not easy.
Right.
I'm just bummed that because I was so stressed out, I didn't get to enjoy how beautiful it was down here and get to go get pulled behind the side by side on the trash can lid and go snowboard. I'm bummed about that.
Well, sometime in like, 2278, when it snows like that again, we'll
Yeah,
go do that.
the videos and the pictures that my mama took, because she lives like out back there, ended
You
up
got to get lost to get found back there.
yeah, they ended up circulating. My mom's pictures were the most like viral pictures from Louisiana snow because the video she's like back in the swamp and most people don't live in the swamp, they just visit it, but no one could. They ended up circulating on like every news station that you could think of and they were so beautiful. My mom is cozy over there. Her hounds were having the time of their life. I was miserable. And then even trying to get to work down because the road to get to my work is water on both sides. And that comes all the way up. There's no shoulder. It just comes up to the side of the road. So if you go off, which I did a couple months
You're
ago,
ice skating.
I went into this. I ran my truck into the swamp on accident a couple months ago.
Oopsies.
Yeah. And then the person that was with me is from here. He freaked out and was like, "How are we getting out of here?" I was like, "Hold on." I don't know how I got
Watch
us out,
this.
but I did. I had some wood stuck in the wheel of my tire, but I got us
Hey,
out.
it's fine. You can get more tires.
Yeah. But no, it was definitely rough. It was gorgeous, but I had my man cooking me some delicious Cajun food and dancing to traditional Cajun music when I got home. So, I couldn't really complain.
So can we talk about love? Can we talk about you and your man a
I'll
little
talk
bit?
about him all day long.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, here we go. I got my shovel. I'm ready to dig in.
My cheeks are already red.
Oh, I know. It's
Uh,
almost the same color as your hair.
he is
So
probably the most
how'd you guys meet?
magical.
Like, how'd you guys meet each
I love
other?
this story actually.
Well,
Um,
good. I'm here for it. On
so
purpose.
he's born and raised Cajun man. He where my family lives, he lives on the same road as me, and he has his entire life. I've lived here, off and on for years, and somehow we never met. Our paths never crossed. Memorial Day 2 years ago, I put George Strait on the jukebox at the bar by our house,
Like you do.
and he looked at me and asked me if I was the one that played it. And I said yeah. He was just being sweet. Um, I guess they were taking the side by sides up to town to another bar, and he asked me if I wanted to go ride, and like I didn't know him, so I asked the only two people that I knew in there that was close with him. I was like, "Is he safe to go with?" And they're like, "Absolutely." I ran, jumped over his door on the side by side, got in, and he looked at me. He's like, "You know that there's a door, right?" I didn't. Uh,
It's like I'm part Dukes of Hazard. Don't
we went.
judge.
We went to town to that other bar. I was being really quiet, and he thought that it's because like I didn't normally drink or something, and he thought he was pressuring me. What he didn't know was I was so fucking tequila drunk that I didn't want him to know, so I was trying to act sober. He thought I was totally sober, which is great. But I told him, I was like, I'm gonna have my
You
brother pick
can't
me
be
up.
trusted.
Yeah, I want to go run and jump in the lake. Like, I need to woosah. It's like, no, I brought you. I'm gonna take you back. Stripped off, ran and jumped in the lake at night, which I should not have because all the gators. Um,
Yeah, you're on the
this
menu.
yeah, this is the best part. I said goodnight to him after we jumped in the lake. I got in my Jeep, went home. I didn't even know his name. I didn't remember it because I was so tequila drunk. So
Love.
every side by side for 2 weeks that went by, I was like looking out my window, like, is it him? Is it him? I had to stop and ask someone on the road, hey, what was that guy's name? And they were like, Bo. And I was like, oh, this is so embarrassing.
Yeah,
We
really, really hard to
finally
remember that one, you know.
we finally passed each other on the road. Both of us hit the brakes in our cars, backed up, got out, hugged, and literally never left each other's side.
That's
He is
awesome.
I only date long distance because like I don't want to be around people.
Right.
I can't get sick of this man.
You're
Just
like, I've tried.
I can't. He is just like the best person ever. And what I love is every person that meets him is just like, I'm obsessed with him. I am also obsessed with him. So join the club. He's amazing.
Get
And
in line.
everyone that's met him and like getting to take him to these motorcycle events has been really special for me because when we met, I'm traveling and doing all these things and it's such a predominant part of my life, but it wasn't a world that he was around or used to. Guess who's building his own panhead at the moment?
Yes.
Yup.
I
What
mean,
he
he's
built.
already got boats, so he understands what it's like to throw money into a
Well, and
fire.
he has
So,
that big old Bronco also, that
yep.
big ass monster truck. No, he's good at building everything, but he's always wanted to build his own bike and just like I think being with me gave him that like, all right, I'm doing it finally. And now we get to ride our panheads next to each other once they're done, and I'm probably gonna cry the first time we ride together. I've thought
Well,
about this
yeah, it's gonna be
so
beautiful.
many times. um, yeah, I told him like when we went to Mama Tried, I was like, it's really important to me that you get to meet Dump Truck. Dan came here and met him when I wasn't here. Like there's certain friends that I'm like, I need you to meet. That's very important to my heart. So I told him going to Mama Tried, I was like, you finally get to check off like the last one that's super important to my heart, and it was meeting you.
Oh,
So
babe, thanks. Thanks, and he's not fired. I'll allow him to take the job as long as the new boss approves.
he's
He
he's
really is
wonderful.
great. It was cool to get to hang out and to laugh and cut it up for a little bit in Milwaukee. It's hard to find time like that at those big events,
Yeah,
and
it is.
it's also like crazy freaking important. And so, I mean, we didn't have a lot of time, but we found some and we made it count.
We
And
always find
my
time.
computer is still dinging all over the
Oh,
place
I
because
know.
I'm a professional.
I
Um,
think my favorite part was when I introduced him to Detroit.
yeah.
Detroit was well, no, Detroit because Bo's accent is so thick and he wasn't even drinking yet. But his accent's so thick, Detroit was like, I have no idea what you just said. And I was like and he was just
which
saying
which
hello.
probably makes Detroit like really. He's like, I gotta hang out with you more. This I gotta do. I got some
A lot
figuring to
of
do.
people can't understand him and when he talks, I think it's so hot, but most people are like, I don't know what you're saying. Like
Well, it
when
sounds like home to me. I tell you that.
it is home to you. You get it. We're ready. Actually, when we were driving the other day, he was like, "This is where Dump Truck grew up," and he pointed it out. And he's like, "If Dump Truck would have stayed here, him and I probably would have been friends because we would have gone to the same high school."
Yep, we
Which is
would
a
have.
crazy thought for me to have.
We would have gone to the Lollipop Dragon school.
Hmm
Totally true. That was the mascot. It was a damn lollipop dragon.
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. My sister went to that school. Once we got like in the middle of, I guess it was like middle school age. We moved, but I wasn't there yet. Still just the Bayou Lewis Bears at Bayou
Yeah.
Lewis Elementary.
Things happen how they're supposed to because they all came back around, and we're ready
Yeah.
for you to at least come home and visit whenever the heck you want.
Don't you worry. That's happening. And Sabine and I will get the travel. We're trying to ride there instead. I mean, flights aren't expensive, but we'd much rather ride,
Yeah, duh.
because planes are lame. Unless you're the pilot, then I bet they're fun.
Which something I'm looking into. That's the other thing that I'm trying to learn how to do.
I
You
love
know,
that.
two of
I
the maidens
absolutely
started
love
taking
that.
flight stuff too. We want to be able to drive and fly and ride everything.
Well, that's really scary, and I can't wait to be on the
I'm
outside holding my
super
phone going,
pumped.
"Oh, what's happening
Zoe
now?"
and Lex already started doing their flight stuff. My dad did his pilot stuff, so now it's my turn.
Heck yes. How exciting is that?
Uh, a lot of money that I don't have right now, but we'll get there eventually.
You
Retirement
know,
plans.
you gotta have goals. Like,
Yeah.
without them, you're just spending energy in the wrong places, or at least
Yep.
in unintentional ones. Um, so what do you have coming up for you that's not motorcycles and that's not dogs?
The
That
thing that
might
I
be a
was
hard question.
no, not at all. The thing that I was telling you that I'm getting started, you know, the thing that's like that I love doing more than anything that I've done since I was a child is sewing, and I've always designed my own clothes. My mom and dad said that they knew that's what I was going to end up doing since I was little. I had tacky glue and a pair of scissors, and I used to make my own clothes as a little kid. And I finally went to take some courses in New Orleans. There's been very specific things that I've wanted to sew, and I finally have somewhere in the swamps because I didn't for a long time that is almost done being set up where I can get to it. And that is what, when I'm not at the rescuer riding, I am focusing all my energy on. And it is the Western pearl snaps that I sew that have the different engines embroidered on the back.
I'm so glad you're saying this right now.
um,
Those are such great pieces.
well, so my
I
goal
remember
with
the first
those
ones that you were cutting out before Mardi Gras at the house.
that my goal with these is they're all going to be denim. The first one I made was like a dress shirt. I want them all like work quality denim. My goal with these is to make it'll be all the different engines. The first one I did was shovel head. Double I want everything double stitched, but I want it to be because we all ride, being able to ride somewhere, especially when we all get dressed up and it being durable, but you still have something nice to wear. And my two stop motorcycles and Western. I was raised by a cowboy. My daddy's a cowboy. So I need my two styles to mush together. Um, so that is all that I want to focus on right now is sewing. And my first things that I'm sewing are my my engine pearl snaps.
I love that. Well, when you're ready for an Evo Pearl Snap,
Well, we're gonna get there too. Don't
you
worry.
let me
Well, now
know.
I have to because
Yeah,
I'm an Evo
I'm ready
girl.
for an Evo. I got you. I love you. Every FXR guy out there that likes to have Western wear will end up with one of
That's
those
what
shirts.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Because I know
that's
all
really
of our
cool.
friends love those type of shirts, but then getting to have the other world of motorcycles. So
Well, and
I
let's
have,
face it, you need a snap up shirt when you're on the road because like you sometimes you ride in them, but at the very least, you almost always have cause to have something that's better than a t-shirt.
yeah,
So it's like you might have, especially when you're doing like motorcycle event type stuff, there's always at least one night where you at least need collar on.
yeah.
And if you have one snap button shirt with you, it's like super utilitarian. You're like,
Yep.
yes, it is my favorite riding shirt. That's why I don't wear it whenever I'm at the event. You don't need to smell this.
Yeah, that's my goal. That's all I want to focus on. I didn't have anywhere out here for a long time to sew or set up because in New Orleans I had my entire upstairs. So now I finally do. It's very small, but I don't give a shit. It's somewhere to sew. So
Where are we gonna be? I love that. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Seamstressing.
yeah, pretty much.
That's a long acronym, but I think we can make it work.
I give a lot of fucks, but no shits.
Wait, that's just I feel like those are like guided yoga meditation words
Yeah.
right there. Where can we find your work? Is it live on the interwebs yet, or do we need to follow? Tell me.
You mean my sewing stuff?
Yeah.
No, that's not up yet. That's what I'm working on right now. That's my goal. Building that industrial sewing machine fucking sucks.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a big
So,
production. I
but
have
I'm
like professional seamstresses in my family. Like whenever we were out in Mississippi, Nana had the largest room in the house, had a
see.
massive table in the middle of it, and that's the one room you couldn't walk barefooted in because
Yeah.
you're
Oh
gonna
no.
have a straight pin in your foot at some point. But
Yeah.
those are you gotta have room. You need space, and like it's really cool that you're able to have a workshop that's nearby in a place that's not nearby much.
Well, it's funny because it's the camp that I redid that Mika lives in.
Yeah, yeah.
But the extra bedroom there, I was like, you can live in here as long as this extra bedroom can be for my sewing stuff. She's like, all right.
Done.
Sweet.
She's like, cool, you
Um,
can sew for me.
yeah, literally. Well, now she actually wants to. But so now I have that. I got my drafting table from New Orleans. So now that I have some employees at the rescue and I can finally, by next week, I'll be able to start pulling myself back a little bit from it now that I have enough
Exciting.
employees. So I'll only have to be there in the mornings. Then I can do what my heart, this is what my heart is in. And it's what, if I am not creative and creating things, I will physically explode.
Don't do that.
Um,
That's a mess.
you know how we are,
They were
especially in New
going fast,
Orleans.
whoever that was.
That was a four-wheeler. That's why I loved New Orleans, because I can constantly create. And that is something, I am a very creative person if I am not doing that. And to me, that is sewing clothing and making patterns and doing all of that and exploring. And most of the stuff that I've always sewn for myself is out of old sheets or old denim or whatever it is. I just like upcycle and make weird stuff. The first outfit I ever made was for my first concert going to see O-Town. And I made myself a cowhide skirt. I think I was in elementary school for sure. A cowhide skirt. I wore a leopard jacket, trench coat.
Do you have photos of this?
No, but I wish I did, because I've
Oh,
asked my mom.
man.
I don't know how well, I do know how our place in California burned down. So all
Yeah,
that's
that's hard
gone.
to see photos after that.
Yeah, but just the thought, and my mom let me have free reign of how I dressed, obviously, but yeah, a cow print cowhide skirt with a leopard trench coat was my first outfit.
I love it. I think that's so
To
great.
see O-Town.
That's also great. Is that your
My
first
mama
concert?
knew.
Is that what you said?
Yep.
Wow, my first concert. There's almost no way for you to guess what my first concert would be, because how I was raised ain't how I
Oh,
is.
oh yeah, you were raised more on the religious aspect, huh?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I know. I won't get
it
it.
it was Petra, which
I don't know what
is
that is.
exactly. It's kind of like a Christian, like easy rock hair band.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
very anthemy.
I mean, at least it's a hairband.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the right.
You were
I don't
getting
know.
closer.
I was at least in the circus. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
didn't find I didn't find the carnival yet. It was
you were
just the
in the
circus.
parking lot of the circus. uh,
That's fun. I love it. Mariah, I really appreciate you taking your time out and kicking it with me here. I miss you all the time, so it's really just good to get to hang out and catch up. And this is the way we can be productive of that. And let's let people know where they can find you, where they can follow you, and support Mariah Harmony and your new endeavor that's coming out. What's the name of the business? Do you know yet?
I do. And you know how we figured it out? When the Moto Maidens and I were riding motorcycles in Montana.
I love it. Can you share it yet, or is it a secret?
No, I'm gonna wait, because it's not
Wait
all
for it.
legal.
Launch it as planned.
It's not all. No, it's not because of that. It's just the name's not all legally mine yet.
Oh, well, yeah. Then
So,
don't say anything. Goodness.
oh, I'm
Who
not.
even suggested
No,
that?
but the maidens helped me, and it has to do with Western pioneer women. So
Cool.
it's very me.
I dig it. I
She was
absolutely get it.
the woman was a badass, and I kind of changed the yeah. Anyways, I mean, Instagram is the easiest way when it comes to me and the Moto Maidens. My Instagram's Mariah Harmony, and the Moto Maidens is Moto Maidens. Anything that has to do with the rescue, it's Villalobos Rescue Center, and the website for that is vrcpitbull.com. And on there, I could hear speaking
You're
of,
my
hey,
pit bull.
hi, hey, honey. The website, it's dogs that are up for adoption or donating. We have virtual adoption programs that we do now, because not everyone can adopt a dog, but they still want to be able to. So it's a virtual adoption where you can sponsor them. You get updated pictures that I take. You're in a private group, so it's constant updates, all that stuff. It's a way that people can help that can't adopt a dog. The Moto Maidens have been slacking on their Instagram lately, because like big time.
Because you have other things to
But
do. Weird.
yeah, weird.
Turns out.
Like, Amanda just helping save lives in the ER, no big deal. Savvy welding and being a badass.
No, Instagram.
I know. But we will get back on it, because the New Mexico episode will be coming out very, very soon, hopefully, with Harley. Thank you, Harley, for doing this with us. I know we're a pain in the butt. We are definitely Harley's like most rowdy bunch, and when we go to homecoming the last years, I always apologize. I'm like, I'm so sorry. We're such a mess, and our beautiful Harley rep's like, oh no, we love it. Sweet. Okay, good.
Wow, that's
Because I
awesome.
know we're a ruckus.
Well, before we completely leave, I have a long relationship with the motor company, and you're getting to work with them on a regular. How great is that experience to have a company like that backing your passion?
Um, it's definitely new and hard for me to work with such a big company. But the cool thing about Harley is everyone that works there is fucking the nicest. And just like so supportive of our endeavors and who we are. And I like that they have my favorite thing is the different types and like subcultures within Harley Davidson.
Oh
Like
yeah, there's niches
old
within niches.
I like my old 60s and 70s choppers, but then I have other friends that like drag race baggers and friends that ride this type and this type. Like it all fits us to who we are as our own individual person. And I love that Harley is supporting us doing that. I didn't think that they would want to jump on the fact that the maidens all ride like these old bikes. And let's be honest, they only break down because we worked on them ourselves.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah. I mean that's the life, right? You
but
sign up for it, and there's a
yeah,
certain amount of satisfaction that comes from it.
I love that they are supporting. Didn't know before we worked with them. Like I didn't think they'd be on that. But they've been so beautiful and so supportive, and like you go girl about it.
Just letting the story be told. Yeah,
Yeah, just let us
that's
be
cool.
us, and it's beautiful. And then all the friends that I've made that have completely different Harley experiences, like I said, that like drag race baggers or ride them or ride these types of Harleys, and like it's been really. I've have this beautiful. I have my chopper family, but then I have my Harley family,
Yeah.
and it's a big fucking family reunion all the time, and that's so cheesy, but it's the
It's
dang
true.
truth.
It
It
is.
is
That's
the
how it is.
truth.
Yeah, if I want to
It's
see my
beautiful.
closest friends, I got to leave my home zip code.
Yeah.
Like my
No,
best
me too.
people are always out on the road on their own, and we're all on the road
Yep.
together or something. Yeah,
Yep.
and I love that. So let's leave this with a piece of advice. You live to inspire, which is awesome. I feel
Oh,
like
I don't.
you do. I mean,
I
I
don't mean
live,
to. I just live.
but also to be inspired, right? And so you put yourself out there. And what piece of advice would you give anyone, male or female, on someone they're watching what you're doing, and it may be dogs, it may be motorcycles, it may be something else. Like what would you say to someone out there who is thinking about following that little voice in the back of their head that's passion?
I think that because I am such an intensely passionate person, I am. It's just who I am naturally, no matter what I'm doing or whether it's love or building. What is the point of doing life if you're not doing it passionately? Honestly, why do it at all? If you're not, I mean, we ride pedal to the metal. It's how we are. But I think if you're not doing anything in your life with full heart and full passion, what is the point of doing it? The whole
Go
point of
full
life,
ass.
the whole point of life is to life. Is to live your life.
It's
Is
not
to
gonna live itself, just
it's
just in case
not.
you were wondering. It's
So
not suddenly
do
gonna
the
go into
damn
autopilot.
thing. Like I want to be able to look back on my life and say I lived it. And already, I'm only in my 30s. I've looked back and I'm like, dude, you've lived like 50 lives already. Like 50 separate lives I've lived already. And when I tell people like my timeline of my life and all the things I've experienced, they don't even believe it's possible in my short amount of time. That's how I see me dying happy.
That means you're doing it right.
But I think that just being able to really look at like at the end of the day when your lights are shut off, what do you want to be able to look back or when you're gone, people to be able to say about you? And mine, I want it to be that I lived my life authentically and passionately and very lovingly.
Drop the microphone while you're at
There's the microphone will not be dropped if this fucking bumblebee just
That
like, can you
bumblebee
hear
has
him?
been with us for the entire episode. You can't
But he
see it,
left me.
but it's
He's left
been
me
back
alone.
behind you, hovering like a guardian this entire time. Either that or like the court jester is trying to annoy the crap out of you. One or
It's
the
not
other,
the
like in the
noise.
background, you see that big black blob just
I do love bee. You know what that means? That means that spring is here. So
Yeah, and you don't have shitty energy. So congratulations.
It's just the red hair, and so I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
that's what it is. It comes in the box. Good energy is in the box every time. I love it.
Oh, I
Mariah,
love
you're my
you.
favorite. It's still that way. And I'll hit you up here pretty quick about coming to visit because Sabine and
Come
I will
back
be there in just like a
home.
few weeks.
I know. I can't wait. I love you so dearly.
I love you too, boo. Have a great rest of your day. I know it won't be as good as this because I'm not there, but do your best. Try to
I'm
find
gonna
some more
go.
joy.
I'm gonna go fill this up.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is about to get better.
I love you so much.
Love you too, boo. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Well, I don't know about you, but that was really just an enjoyable time. I hope you enjoyed the stories. Mariah and I have been friends for a really long time, and she's just one of those people that leaves the room better than whenever she showed up, and I always feel better getting to speak with her, and I feel motivated even more now for these other passion projects in my life that need some energy to allocate some time to do it. And I feel like that is just a crazy important thing for us to remember as we're having this human experiences. It's not about I couldn't find the time. You have to make the time. You have to schedule your time, especially if you're an entrepreneur, but even if you're not, you have to schedule time for yourself. You have to schedule time for your family. Like, you have to schedule time for yourself. Like, that's huge. It's been really big. I mean, that's the difference between self-love and self-care, I guess. If it could be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Like, if you never use just simply schedule time for yourself to serve you, that doesn't mean like going out and spending a bunch of money and going on a vacation to serve you. That's really, for me, it's more about just checking in with myself. I get to do that a lot through meditation. I get to do it a lot through motorcycles, which leads to meditation. Going outdoors is a big part of it. Scheduling time for yourself. Like, even if you're madly and deeply in love with your partner who lives in the same house with you, like I am, and thankfully she with me. I hope I fall asleep first, so that could be sketchy. But like, we also value our own time to do our own things, to feed our own passions. We like a lot of the same stuff, but not everything. Thank goodness. How boring would that be? That was absolutely fantastic. I really hope everyone enjoyed it. This time, things were a little bit different. I got some really great feedback from a couple of you listeners saying that, don't pay attention to the clock so much, because I asked out there, if you are listening on Spotify, I really love it when you guys comment. It does fuel the show. It's part of why you probably didn't notice me looking at a clock as often, because, well, I was ignoring it. I was just letting the conversation go where it went instead of trying to keep it a short form thing. If the conversation's good, don't stop now, and why ruin a good thing? And I hope you feel like this was a good thing and it was worth your time. And I'm really, really grateful for everyone being a part of the show. I'm very grateful for Mariah sharing her time. I'm, of course, grateful for my fantastic sponsor, Better Live Coffee, for supporting the show. If you would like to also support the show and you want to know how, well, it's really easy. You go to my Instagram account and you can see that there is a link in the bio, and just touch on it right there and you'll see a link for Dead or Alive Coffee. And there's also a discount code for 15% off. Go to that link and I will put it in the show notes. I'll put it somewhere where you can use it well, and go buy some coffee there. That link is specific to the show. So that is, it's really important that you use that specific link. And then we'll give you 15% off on top of it, and you get some really damn fine coffee. Well, that kind of brings us to the end. What is coming up for us next? We are going to have some other beautiful guests on. Stay tuned for the news on that. If there is anyone you'd like me to interview as a part of the show, anything you'd like me to add to the show, all you got to do is, let your voice be heard. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the hotline segment of the I Speak Good podcast, brought to you, brought to you by Dead or Alive Coffee. Easy for me to say. Well, your home
We're
looks
back.
absolutely wonderful. I love it. You're indoors now. No mosquitoes, no bumblebees.
No bumblebees, just a wild coyote.
So nothing out of
Come
the
here.
ordinary.
Yeah,
That's good.
come here.
I remember when I love it. Well, let's jump into the hotline. All right. You got a few questions people called in. If y'all didn't know, I do have a hotline for the I Speak Good podcast because I want to know what you're feeling. And I love that he's howling. So don't worry
Nonstop.
about it. It actually is adding to the joy of my life. Someone else doesn't like it, they can stop listening now.
She always has something to say. She's kind of like you.
Fair enough. I mean, I have to make room for that, I think.
Yep.
But if you didn't know, I do have a hotline. Feel free to call the show at any time whenever you're inspired. It's 833-474-2010. And since we had Miss Mariah Harmony on the show this week, we put it out there saying if you have something to ask, well, call the hotline and ask it. And this is what that sounds like. Oh, no, it's not.
We're getting there.
We are one step at a time. Maybe this is what it sounds like.
Hi, my name is Lynn Starks. I'm from Crocus Bluff, Arkansas. I was born right on the White River. I love Pitbulls and Parolees. I love everything they stand for. I have my own dog walking business. I just adore every one of them from ground up, okay? So y'all take care and keep it coming, and God bless.
I love her. That was
How
the
does
cutest
that
thing
not
I've ever
make
heard
you
in my
feel like
life.
a superhero?
That is the cutest woman I've ever heard in my life. I love her. I
Yeah,
wish she would have
she
said what her
sounds like
dog
home.
walking business was called, though.
That's true. Yeah, if you do call the show, make sure you leave those details. We'll
Yeah,
absolutely
we
share
want
it
to
for
know what you
sure.
call back and tell us your dog walking business.
You know what? How often do you get messages like that?
Quite a bit.
How often do you need messages like that?
I think that because we had 19 seasons or something. Like people will watch me literally grow up.
Oh yeah. Still waiting
When
for
they
it to
say
happen.
nice things about the dogs and the work we do, I don't ever take that lightly, ever. When people say things about how I look, that I ignore. Because that doesn't mean anything to me. That's like shallow and superficial. When it's something coming from the heart, I don't ever take it lightly. And seeing other people that our work is touched or inspired or whatever it is, it helps me keep going because there are a lot of days when I don't want to get up. Like it's exhausting emotionally and physically doing this work. So those things always help me get up the next day and it's like, all right, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we definitely need that. You know, we need those assurances sometime, not about how we look, but about the things that we put our
Who
effort
we
and our
are.
time
Yeah.
into. Like, because that's who
Our
we are.
hearts.
Wait, we have hearts? Well, get
Most
ready
days.
because there's there's some more nice things that people had to say to you and about you. I think we have a question
Goodness.
here.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
That was just the cutest.
Hey, Mariah, my name is Debbie. I'm from Owasso, Oklahoma. I follow you on Instagram. I'm curious, whatever happened with the bike that got stolen when you were in New Mexico? Has anything happened with that? I just thought that was just horrible. And I know that was your love of your bike and everything and having the bell from your brother. Just curious.
Wow. I mean, you've really touched some folks. Like you really have. Like, I mean, for people to pay that much attention to feel like they are a part of your story because you've actually included them. I'm being touched by these messages coming out for you. Like it's a beautiful thing. Like
I had people
your
in New
heart has to be
Mexico.
huge, like all the time.
Sorry.
No.
I had people in New Mexico because it was on the news on 3 different stations. Come up to me at gas stations while the maidens were riding. People that don't know anything about motorcycles. We had random strangers come up to us at gas stations being like, "Oh my gosh, you're the one that got our bike stolen." So that story traveled far and wide.
Wow.
Obviously we talked about what happened on the podcast to my bike.
It turned into
Linda
2
Lou-
motorcycles.
Linda Lou is gone with the wind on her own adventure now, is what happened.
That's right. It's all about Susie Side Alley. What is it?
Back Alley Sally.
I love it.
Susie
I feel
Side
like
Alley's actually. Do we need to make
That's her
Sally a
cousin.
sister? Yeah. She needs a sister or a
She's
cousin.
special. She's always down that side alley, you know?
You got your first cousins, and you got your second cousins, and then
And
you
you're
got
still not supposed to
Susie.
kiss them.
Maybe your fourth cousin.
Maybe,
But
I mean, we can let people do their own math, okay? Let's see what else we got here.
I actually had the question for Mariah about the Moto Maidens and where their next trip will be and what can we expect to see. Also, where should I start personally as like learning about motorcycles and not having any help whatsoever? Genuinely curious where to even begin because I feel like I'm lost.
You hate
Thank
this
you.
question,
I'm
obviously.
so pumped about this question. So pumped about it. Hi. This question is fantastic. The maidens have not decided yet where we're going exactly. We have an idea. We have an area. We really like that we've been like we did Montana and then we went down to Florida and then over to New Mexico. It also because all of us travel from literally opposite sides of the country, it's making it where, if whoever's traveling really far one time doesn't have to the next time. I have a feeling, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I have a feeling we're going to be somewhere East Coast. Not saying how far north or south yet. The question that I'm super pumped about is where to start. And I'm going to say this very loud and clear, not me plugging Harley Davidson. This has nothing to do with it. I do not get paid for saying this. I do not get paid for plugging this. This is how genuine I am about this. Harley Davidson Riding Academy. And I say this for a reason. One of our producers on the Moto Maidens has never ridden a motorcycle a day in her life. She doesn't know how to drive manual, none of that. After watching the maidens ride and having to be in a chase vehicle, she was like, I need to do this. I need to do this.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, we're going to the riding academy. Went and did it with her.
How
I've been
fun.
riding my whole life. My whole life. I used to race dirt bikes on tracks, all of that. My whole life. I learned stuff that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that if you think you know everything, you know nothing. But the Harley Davidson Riding Academy, you can look it up no matter in what state you live, and it will give you the closest one to you. And if you don't know anything about motorcycles, that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Clean slate. Good way to show
Yeah.
up.
They
And,
literally,
and
I
I
was,
support that. Like, yeah, I tell people step one is buy a helmet because when you go through that Harley
you
Davidson
have to,
Academy,
yeah.
you don't want to borrow somebody's helmet.
Yeah.
That's a lot of somebody's.
You
that
need
have
a
been wearing them
helmet and you
things.
need gloves and long sleeves. And
Yep,
then shoes that
and
cover your
something that
ankles.
cover your ankle, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like we know.
I know. But they take you from literally knowing nothing to being confident living there and being able to go get your license, your
And it's in like
endorsement.
3 to 5 days, right? Like it's
It's
really
a weekend.
brief. Yeah, I mean,
I
and
learned some cool stuff.
I mean, to me, it's affirmation that you are capable of great things, no matter your education level in it when you
Yeah.
start. Like, you're completely right. When you go to those classes, like you come out a different person with a whole other skill set that you then will hone for the rest of your life. And don't feel like because you've been doing it a long time, you don't need to go to class. Just like Mariah said, she was like, you've been riding motorcycles your whole life and you learned some things because there's always stuff to learn. Every racer out there on the track has someone telling him what to do in the ear. So even at the top of the tree, like there's still somebody else like telling him the right way to do it. And he's better at it than everyone else,
I'm really glad that she called and asked that. Yeah, what a great question.
I don't know who this next one is. It could be for you, could be for me, but we're going to find out together.
All right.
Hey, my question is for Mariah Harmony when you have her on her show.
Perfect timing.
Ask her, did she ever get the Spud Bucket up and running? I've been curious for a couple of years now.
I forgot I told people that name. So the Spud Bucket is what since Daryl's going to be building my bikes, what I'm going to be working on, the bike I'm going to be working on. The Spud Bucket is a Ural with a sidecar that I got.
Oh, nice. Those are great.
Yeah, it's old. I don't know if any of y'all know what working on a Ural is like.
Well, it's made in Russia, so the
I
instructions
am
are hard to
Russian, so
read.
I should. Trying to find an English manual was not fun, but I printed one out. Anywho, it's not easy to work on. My brother and I got it running, but I caught a little bit of it on fire. Some things happened, but we got it running. But then it had sat for so long, some stuff happened. I finally have it out in the swamps, so it is not currently running, but that is motorcycle wise what my focus is right now. The reason that we are calling it the Spud Bucket, I had no recollection of telling anybody that. So that makes me pumped. Um, you'll love this dump truck. You know who named it the Spud Bucket? Miguel, my little
Oh,
brother. Because I got that originally because my dog Tater that passed away, he loved going on rides with me in the car, but I love riding motorcycles. So I wanted a way that I could do it with him. I'd been looking for a Ural and I couldn't find one that I wanted. Tater ended up passing away, and right afterwards, I found this Ural, and I was like, I'm getting this Ural so I can take old dogs from the rescue on little trips around town. Like,
stop
Tater
it.
found this shit for me. So Miguel named it the Spud Bucket because Tater, Spud.
Well, I can't wait to see the Spud
Yeah.
Bucket ride again. That's going to be really cool. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad people are calling in the hotline. I'm like, I don't know how much of the show you've listened to, but the whole
I've
point
listened.
that I wanted to do this is because I miss the radio days. It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun and the feedback and the back and forth. So, like, it makes me excited that people
These
are
questions
doing
are great.
it. Let's see who this is. It's always a crapshoot.
Dump truck. Hey, banker on a Harley. How the hell are you? And love seeing you at Mama Tried. It was good. Good times at Elwood's on Saturday night, as always. Loved hanging out with you for a little bit. Hey, so got a question for you to run, a scenario to run by you. This friend of mine shared this opinion with me. I thought to myself,
Sounds very
I'm not
cryptic.
sure how to take it, so I better call the coolest guy in the world. That would be you. So here we are.
You are lost.
Want to run this by you? Let me know what you think.
You're even
I
laughing
was
at that.
told
That hurts.
you ain't cool unless you pee your pants. I don't know. That's just what I was told. I mean, I look at it as if peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. So hey, let me know what you think. Love to hear your hot take. Hope you're doing great. Love the most recent podcast. You're killing it, brother. Talk to you soon. Love you, mean it.
What's your hot take, dump truck? I'm peeing your pants.
I just love our people. I really do. I'll say this. If you have never peed your pants, then you are not living life. Anyone who has ever peed their pants has done it doing something. So if you haven't peed your pants, it's time to go have that experience. It's the best way to stay warm in the rain on a motorcycle, and it's brief. It washes right away. Just don't tell your passenger.
You're such an ass. Definitely peed my pants.
Yeah,
But
we live life.
mine's been from laughing, or peeing on my pants while trying to squat peeing on the side of the road.
All right, this is now called evidence.
I mean, I laughed so hard that I peed. That's not a bad thing.
No, it's
and then
not.
peed on my pants squatting.
I mean, what kind of person would I
Piss
be if I'd
happens.
never peed my pants? Piss happens. I don't know why that's the voice that gets that phrase, but there you go. I don't know. I don't make sense to me either.
Well, we love you.
Well, I love you, and thanks for making time for the hotline calls. It's been absolutely awesome, Mariah, and I will talk to you super soon, my friend.
All right, love you. Bye.
Love you back. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. I hope that you enjoyed the conversation. I tried to change up like how I was processing things a little bit this time. I got some positive feedback on Spotify. Yes, you can comment on the episodes, and yes, I read them and I take them to heart, and they influence the show. So the last poll that I had on the Chef Justin Warner episode on episode 3 was, hey, do you prefer it to be closer to an hour in length, or do you want the story to continue as it goes? Like, should I watch the time clock, or should I let the organic conversation end on its own? And I was suggested to just roll with it. So We did, and it felt really comfortable for me. So I hope it was only slightly uncomfortable for you. And I do want to thank all of you for subscribing. Those who have subscribed, if you have not, please, please, please do. It is a huge help. It is free to do. And if you wouldn't mind sharing the social media posts that lead to these episodes so that we can get the word out about I Speak Good and just, continuing having a good time with it. If there's anyone you'd like me to interview or anything you want to add to the show, call the hotline 833-474-2010. And I mean, that's what I got. I appreciate you. I appreciate our sponsor, Dead or Alive Coffee. And I also appreciate the fact that it's time to start thinking about episode 5. Be well out there, y'all. If you're not having the best day ever, don't worry. There's still time. Work it out.